Hello and welcome to another Blender tutorial. Today we're going to learn how to create a sphere just like this using the fluid particles. What I did was it's placed in a box to make the room, the atmosphere, and then I used a 3-point lighting system, and then I used 3 particle emitters, each emitting different colored balls, and they all make a sphere using harmonic physics force field. So let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and open up Blender, get past the splash screen. I'm going to turn on my screencast key, so down here you can see after I just pressed N, it got rid of this toolbar. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this and hit Shift A, add mesh plane. I'm probably going to leave it about the same size. I'm going to jump right over here into the particle emission tab and hit new. I'm going to change this to probably 5,000. You can make that as many as you want. And then I'm going to change this to go to the physics tab, or the drop down box, and hit fluid. It gives you a whole bunch of these options. These are usually pretty good for just normal fluid physics. So, I mean, you can change. They're all self-explanatory, like stiffness is how stiff it is. Some of these big words you might have to Google them to figure out. But we're going to come down here to where it says render object. We're going to hit object, and we haven't created the object yet, but what we're going to do is we're going to create a sphere duplet for the duplet object. So let's go ahead into the second layer, hit Shift A, add mesh, UV sphere. We're going to make it pretty low poly, so we're going to hit 16 by 8 just so that our computers can keep up. Actually, even you can go probably 10 and 5. Even that would be fine, and just hit smooth. It's not, I mean, if you want a really good render, increase that, but it's going to slow down your computer immensely. So you do whatever you would like to with that. And then I'm going to go change this to cycles render, because it'll be in cycles, and then go to the materials tab, hit new, and we're going to do glossy. Glossy right there. And this one can be the white one. So we're going to change the viewport color to the same color as this. Down in the settings, you have to drop it down, and then hit Shift D, duplicate, Shift D, duplicate, and make 3 of them. Right here, click on the 3, so to make a whole new material for this one. If we didn't hit that, like on this one, if we change this to black, oh, you can't really see that there. Let me change the viewport. It'll change both of them. So we'll have to do the same with that one. Now they're all independent. Go ahead, let's make this in black, and we'll make I'm gonna name these. So double click and you can change the name. White ball, and make this in black ball, and red ball. So change this into black and this into red. You can make them whatever color you would like, just so you know. I'm not telling you to just change it just to that color. You can make this a blue, you can make it whatever color your heart really desires. And then I'm going to move this out of the way real quick so I can kind of use it for reference. We're going to go back to the first layer and go to the particle emissions tab on this plane. So you have to right click the plane, then go to particle systems, go to the bottom, and this will be, let's do the white ball with this one. And we're going to position this right here. We're going to duplicate it, move it up, and we're going to change, we have to go up to the top, hit the 2, or else it'd be the same way with the materials. I'd change both of them. But we're going to change this one to red, and we're going to duplicate and put this in right here. And we're gonna make it, oh wait, I forgot to do this one too. Gotta scroll the top, hit the 2, put it back to the bottom, and then put black ball. You can see it has one single particle on each one of these in there, each color. So we're gonna change this, the end, because 250 frames is not enough. At least 600. So we're gonna start with 600. If we need more, we'll change it. But I think we should be okay because we can change the settings right here. We're gonna change the end to 300 and the lifetime to 600. The end, that's just what I picked. You can pick whatever number you would like. Probably just enough so that you don't have to change this too much. So below, the end amount has to be below your end amount, and your lifetime has to be the same amount as your end amount, because you don't want some of these particles disappearing, because the lifetime determines how long they are in this program. They'll just disappear after 600 frames. So on the first frame, so 600 frames from here, this particle will disappear. That's pretty much what this says. The number is kind of self-explanatory. It's just the number of particles. So I think we're good with that. Let's just hit Shift A and watch it go. Oh, now we need to change it with all the rest of them. Forgot to do that. So we need to come in here, lifetime, 600, and 300. Go to your next one, and 300, lifetime, 600. Okay, now those should all be the same. What we're going to do now is we're going to hit the 1. I'm going to hit Shift A, force field, harmonic. And I found that you can get away, if you go to the physics tab, you can get away with just a strength of 5. You don't want to go too strong, because the particles will start bouncing. So if you do strength, they slowly go in there and they just settle in there really nicely. So let's hit Shift A and watch as they clump together. And because they are a fluid particle, they react with each other and they collide with each other. That means they won't all just join into one small little dot. They actually have collision properties, and they won't overlap each other. So the more particles you have, the bigger this ball will get. So we're just going to wait here for just a second. After this, you're pretty much done. We're going to add the 3-point lighting system to give it a little bit more of a cool look and a room. So as soon as this goes down, we're going to give it just a few more frames. But I'm going to right click on one of these and show you something. If you go down here on the particles tab of any one of these any one of those particle emitters, you can come down here to the fluid interaction, and you can make them interact with each other. You just hit add, and then it'll pop up a little thing, and then, but I don't want to do it because it'll really ruin what we got going on here. I'm actually going to hit pause, so that'll be good for our render. It's actually a little bit weird. They should all be separate. Let's try moving. Let's move these up a little bit, and we'll redo that. There we go. I think we're getting somewhere now. No, they're dispersing again. Maybe I'm missing something. hold on just 1 minute and I'll be right back. Okay, so I found sort of a little trick that kind of helped. I'm going to put the strength here back to 5. Sorry about that. So we're going to wait for this to fill up, and what I did was I took this shape right here, and if I change it to a plane, they all kind of separated, and it should work out okay because they're all going to separate now. And then at the last minute, so at probably frame 400, we'll change this back to a point, and then all these will remain separate. So that's how we're gonna go around this little glitch that we had. And if you like that, you can go with that too. It really is whatever you like. It's actually pretty cool. So now we have that. We're going to change this to a point and watch as they all join together so perfectly. At about frame 500, we're going to pause it. Actually, pause it before then, because it's starting. We'll go back a couple of frames because they're starting to mesh together. We don't like that. I don't really like that. I think that's pretty good though. There's probably a way to go around that a little bit better than what we did, but this will work too. So now that we have our sphere, I think we even have, we need to go with the camera view. We do need to do this. Move, if you right click on the outside rectangle, hit G, you can move it while you're in the camera. And if you hit G, so click and then hit G and then middle mouse button in, you can zoom in. So I'm going to zoom in here, zoom in a little bit. I want to be so I got so the whole camera is filled with this ball because I like it that way. You can do it however you would like, and I'm going to rotate my view down and then grab and bring myself back up here. Oh, I'm going to have to zoom back out. I'm going to have to try that again. So I'm going to go up and then rotate down. Go up and rotate down. Ooh. I don't want to do too much, so right here somewhere. There we go. I want to get just so that I have all three colors kind of shown a little bit. And then, if you can, if your computer can handle it, go to the rendered view and see what we've got. Okay, now here comes the part that I got a little bit tripped up with a little bit. I'm going to change this roughness up a little bit. This is the black one. So you really won't see much of a difference in the black one because it's black. But the red one and the white one, if you change it to 0.1, it instantly gets a shine. So we're going to change that one to 0.1. And it really looks cool on the white one. Or I like it on the white one at least. And then next, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the 7 button and go into wireframe mode. So we're not in rendered mode anymore. I'm going to hit Shift A and then make a cube. And it's got to be big enough to fit your camera and your ball in there. And then you got to zoom out, position your camera, or position your room that you just made so that it can fit everything in there just so snug. I'm actually going to leave a little bit of room because I'm going to put a lamp over here, or a light. I'm going to move my light over here and change it to a spotlight. And that's pretty huge. So I'm gonna rotate it, scale it down a little bit, and go to the side view. Move the camera down. Go to the front view using the numpad 1. Position it so it's looking right at it. You can do this with, just use the 7, 1, and 3 to move around, and the orbit button with your middle mouse button. I'm going to go to the camera and orbit around it. Okay, I think we're good with that camera. I'm going to hit use nodes though, and I'm going to move it over this way actually a little bit, because I don't like it coming right from the camera's direction. And I'm going to put the strength of 700, which seems a lot, but if I remember right, that's what I used on my last one, and it turned out okay. It might be a little bit much because this is a smaller room than it was before. But if you like that render, go for it. I'm going to probably change it to 300 and try that. Now we're getting somewhere. Yeah. Now, we only got shine from this one direction. So I'm going to bring another camera and get shine from this direction now. So, light. I'm going to hit Shift D, duplicate. Make sure it's still in this room that you can see here. Rotate it so it's facing it. And I'm going to lower this to probably, actually change that to 50 maybe. Let's try that. So you get a slight shine, and it dims down the shadow, but you don't really get much more of a shadow over here, which is nice. So this is kind of how the 3-point lighting system works, but we're also going to hit Shift D, duplicate it over here, and then rotate it so that it's looking at it this way. This will add, hopefully, a backlight, and it does slightly, so it just kind of illuminates it. Next, we're going to go to rendered view, and right click on the room and hit new, and I'm going to change this color. I think I used a little slight purple, and it turned out okay, but you can use like blue or green. Ooh, that green actually looks pretty cool too. But whatever color you change your background or your room to, your white will pretty much take on that color. So just kind of, and the lighter you are, the better it will probably look. Because if you go that way, it's too much. But if you like that, go for it. Remember, this is just showing you what some of these things do. So I'm going to stick with this, and we're done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to render it nicely. You can change your resolution to whatever you'd like. If you want your resolution to be up here, remember to change this to 100%, and it will be exactly what you put up here. 50%, you're running at half of that and half of that. So next, what you want to go down to, you can even render the simulation of it coming down into the ball by hitting animation right here. But you'd also have to change this to a movie format, or else to put in a whole bunch of pictures, which you don't want to do. But change this render to at least 100. If you're going for photo quality, you're going to have to go at least 500. Anything above this will just be the icing on a cake. This is just the cake, I guess. So at 500 it will take a long time, but it will look really good. So I'm going to start this rendering. Oh, and one other thing before I render it completely, you can come down here, not light paths, to performance, right there. This X and Y, the higher value you set it, I found it renders nice. It renders a little bit faster. So I'm going to set it at 512 by 512. And then if you have a graphics card, go up to File, User Preferences, and go to System, CUDA, and then choose your graphics card. I think it only works with CUDA graphics cards, so and then just change this to GPU compute. So, and then hit F12 or render, and watch as it renders. Oh, I didn't change this to 100. That's why it took a little bit longer. Or wasn't very long. And you can watch it, and it's just gonna get nicer and nicer as it goes. It's gotta go. See, it hasn't even gone to 100, and it's gonna go to 500. It's gonna take a long time. So I'm gonna end the tutorial here. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Hope to see you next time.